Pancreatic cancer is one of the most silent and deadly cancers there is. Not because it's rare, but because in many cases, the early symptoms are so subtle, so common, so easily confused with everyday issues, that most people completely ignore them. And that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. By the time the symptoms become obvious, it's often too late. That's why today we'll talk about the 8 early symptoms of pancreatic cancer that most people don't recognize. Some are so ordinary you may have already experienced them, without ever realizing what they might mean. So stay with us until the end, because symptom number 7 is shockingly common, and almost always overlooked. The pancreas is a little-known but vital organ. It produces insulin, which controls blood sugar, and digestive enzymes that help break down food. When this organ begins to malfunction due to cancer, the warning signs may appear as small discomforts, but if you pay close attention, they form a consistent and dangerous pattern. The problem is that most people, especially over 50, tend to normalize everything. Fatigue gets blamed on aging, appetite loss on stress, nausea on something they ate. And so the cancer grows quietly every single day. In this video, we want to open your eyes to what's happening beneath the surface. What to notice, what not to ignore, and when to see a doctor. You don't need medical knowledge to follow along. We'll explain everything simply and directly. Because our goal is one, to help you live longer and healthier. If you find this content useful, please hit the like button, subscribe, and share this with someone over 50. You might make the difference in someone's life. Over the next few minutes, we'll examine each of these 8 symptoms. This is not to scare you, but to prepare you. Because sometimes, information really does save lives. Remaining unaware while a silent disease takes over is not an option. Now that you know what's at stake, I invite you to listen carefully to each detail. Let's begin. The first symptom we need to talk about is something nearly everyone has felt at some point: persistent abdominal pain. But when it comes to pancreatic cancer, this pain has specific characteristics. It's often located in the upper abdomen and can radiate to the back, becoming more intense after eating or when lying down. Many people describe it as a deep pressure or burning sensation, hard to pinpoint, and not easily relieved by common medications. What makes this symptom dangerous is that it's usually dismissed. People think it's gastritis, poor posture, muscle tension, or just stress. But when the pain doesn't go away over time, when it becomes part of your daily life, even subtly, it's crucial to take it seriously. The pancreas sits deep in the abdomen, near nerves that send pain signals to the back. That's why pancreatic pain can feel like back pain, and why it's so often misdiagnosed. Another key sign: many people with pancreatic cancer say the pain is worse at night or when lying flat. That's an important detail. If you notice the discomfort increases when lying down and improves slightly when sitting or leaning forward, don't ignore it. It might not be something simple. To be clear, not all abdominal pain is cancer, of course. But if you're over 50, have a family history of cancer, or are experiencing this pain along with other symptoms, like weight loss, fatigue, or jaundice, then the risk is higher. And time matters. This isn't about creating panic. It's about encouraging informed vigilance. Listening to your body is an act of protection, not paranoia. If you've ever heard of someone who ignored symptoms for months, only to receive a devastating diagnosis, then you know how vital early action is. Pancreatic cancer doesn't wait. But it can be fought more effectively if caught early. If this information is already helping you, please leave a comment below, even just a thank you or "I'm paying attention." You never know who might read it and decide to get checked. A single comment can push someone to save their own life. The second symptom that may point to a serious issue with the pancreas is loss of appetite, often followed by unexplained weight loss. Many people start noticing they're eating less than usual, but without any clear reason. Food seems to lose its appeal, or the desire to eat simply fades away. At first, this can be blamed on stress, fatigue, or changes in routine. But if it lasts for weeks, and especially if your weight is dropping without trying, that's a clear red flag. The human body is naturally programmed to maintain balance. Losing several pounds in a short time without diet or exercise is always a cause for concern. In the case of pancreatic cancer, this happens because the tumor can alter metabolism, interfere with digestion, and change the way nutrients are absorbed. The result is a loss of body mass that feels mysterious, but is actually a very real warning. Often, people don't realize the seriousness right away. They might get comments like, "You've lost weight, but you look good." And the usual reply is, "Yeah, I haven't been very hungry lately." But that "not very hungry," when it lasts for too long, is your body's way of telling you something is wrong. Another sign to pay attention to is how your body responds to food. Some people start feeling nauseous after eating, even if it's a small portion. Others feel unusually full very quickly. When combined, these symptoms suggest the pancreas isn't functioning properly. Sometimes appetite loss is also paired with chronic fatigue, which we'll discuss later. But for now, remember, if you're eating less, losing weight without trying, and feeling low on energy, don't wait. Talk to a doctor, get tests done. In many cases, early detection makes all the difference. And if someone close to you has mentioned they no longer enjoy eating, or is losing weight without knowing why, please share this video with them. You might be saving a life without even knowing it. And if this message is helping you connect the dots, leave a comment below saying, "I'm paying attention to my body." It helps us reach more people who need this information. The third symptom that many people ignore is frequent nausea, often accompanied by digestive discomfort, a lingering sense of heaviness after eating, and in some cases, recurring vomiting. We're not talking about an upset stomach from bad food or a passing stomach bug. This is a persistent unease that returns day after day, especially after meals, and it's often linked to a pancreas that's no longer functioning properly. When the pancreas isn't working as it should, the digestive enzymes that help break down fats, proteins, and carbohydrates aren't released effectively. This slows down digestion, makes it harder for the body to absorb nutrients, and puts extra strain on the stomach and intestines. The result: bloating, unexplained nausea, and sometimes vomiting, especially after rich or fatty meals. It's common for people with these symptoms to start avoiding certain foods because they don't sit right, without realizing the issue may be much deeper. Some stop eating meat, others avoid cheese or heavy meals altogether. It may seem like a healthy diet change, but in reality, the body is trying to avoid pain caused by poor digestion. Behind this, there may be pancreatic inflammation, or worse, a tumor that's blocking the normal flow of digestive enzymes. Another clue to watch for is changes in your stool. We'll go deeper into that symptom later, but for now, know this. When nausea is persistent, especially combined with pale, greasy, or foul-smelling stools, it's a strong warning sign that your digestion isn't working properly. Many patients later diagnosed with pancreatic cancer say it all started with mild, manageable nausea. They didn't think much of it at first. But over time, the feeling grew, and eventually disrupted their entire life. Don't let it get that far. If you're experiencing frequent nausea without a clear cause, don't normalize it. Your body doesn't do things without a reason. And once again, if this video is opening your eyes to symptoms you've overlooked, leave a comment below saying, "I'm learning to listen to my body." That simple comment may help someone else do the same. The fourth symptom that many people overlook, but that can be one of the most visible, is jaundice. This is the yellowing of the skin and the whites of the eyes. While it's often associated with liver issues, jaundice can also be one of the first external signs of pancreatic cancer, especially when a tumor is blocking the normal flow of bile. Here's what happens. The pancreas is located very close to the bile ducts, which carry bile from the liver to the intestines. When a tumor forms in the head of the pancreas, it can press against these ducts, preventing bile from flowing freely. As a result, bile builds up in the body, and bilirubin, the substance that gives bile its yellow color, begins to accumulate in the skin, the eyes, and even in the urine. Jaundice doesn't always start dramatically. In some cases, it begins subtly, just a slight yellow tint in the whites of the eyes. But over time, it can become more obvious. The skin takes on a yellow hue, the urine becomes very dark, like tea or cola, and the stool becomes pale or clay-colored, because bile isn't reaching the intestines as it should. Another important sign to watch for is intense itching, especially at night. Many people don't associate itching with jaundice, but it's a common effect of excess bilirubin in the blood. If you notice itching without a rash, and at the same time you see changes in the color of your skin or urine, don't ignore it. Jaundice at any level is never normal. Any doctor will tell you, if your eyes or skin turn yellow, you need to seek medical attention immediately. Unfortunately, many people delay this, either because they're afraid, too busy, or unaware. But the more you wait, the more dangerous it becomes. Remember, the earlier the diagnosis, the better the chances of treatment. If you're over 50, have lost weight unexpectedly, feel nauseous, and notice any change in your skin or eyes, don't wait. See a doctor. Even if it isn't cancer, it could be a problem with your liver, gallbladder, or bile ducts. And all of these require medical attention. If this information is helping you, leave a comment below saying, "I see the signs." That one message could encourage someone else to take action. Your body is speaking. Sometimes it's screaming. It's up to you to listen. The fifth symptom that is often completely ignored is a change in the shape and consistency of your stool. Yes, it may be uncomfortable to talk about, but that's exactly why so many people miss this critical warning sign. Your stool reflects how your digestive system is functioning. When the pancreas stops producing enough digestive enzymes, fat isn't properly broken down, and that shows up in the toilet. The result: stool that floats, looks greasy or oily, is light in color, and smells much stronger than usual. This condition is called steatorrhea, which literally means fat in the stool. And it's not something to ignore. If you notice your stool is sticking to the sides of the toilet, hard to flush, or looks pale and soft with a shiny or oily film, your body is telling you it's not processing fats properly. Most people assume this is due to something they ate. And often they start avoiding certain foods, thinking they're too heavy or greasy. But the truth is, the problem may be deeper. The pancreas may not be releasing enough enzymes, or something may be blocking the flow of those enzymes into your digestive system. If left unaddressed, this issue can lead to serious nutritional deficiencies, loss of muscle mass, increasing weakness, and even further weight loss. Your body begins to consume itself because it's not getting what it needs, even if you're eating normally. Another key question to ask is this happening regularly? A single episode of greasy or floating stool can happen to anyone. But if it becomes frequent, if that kind of stool becomes your new normal, it's time to act. Tests like a stool fat test, pancreatic enzyme levels, or abdominal imaging can provide critical information. And the sooner you get them, the better. It's sad to think that many people live with these symptoms for months and never talk to anyone about them, out of embarrassment, fear, or just plain unawareness. But sometimes, something as simple as a stool test can uncover a serious condition, one that could be treatable if caught in time. If you recognize yourself in any of this, don't wait. And don't feel ashamed. Talking to your doctor about your digestive health isn't weird, it's wise. And if this message is opening your eyes, leave a comment saying, "I'm listening to my body." You never know who might read your comment and be inspired to take action. The sixth symptom you should never ignore is chronic fatigue, a constant feeling of physical and mental exhaustion that doesn't go away with rest. Many people dismiss it as stress, aging, poor sleep, or just a demanding phase of life. But when your body is consistently tired, even after a full night's sleep, when daily tasks become overwhelming and everything feels like it requires extra effort, it's time to pay attention. In the case of pancreatic cancer, this kind of fatigue isn't just in your head. It's the result of a metabolic shift, a body using more energy than usual to fight something growing inside of it. And at the same time, poor digestion and nutrient malabsorption, which we covered earlier, only make the situation worse. Your body is hungry even when you're eating. Fatigue related to cancer can also be accompanied by other signs: shortness of breath, pale skin, weakness, dizziness, and a feeling of being physically drained for no clear reason. In some people, it's so intense that it changes their lifestyle. They stop going out, avoid socializing, even skip meals, not because they don't want to, but because they simply don't have the strength. This is the kind of fatigue that isolates you and slowly takes over. Unfortunately, many people get used to this. It's just getting older, they say. Or, I've been under a lot of pressure lately. And time passes, while the body continues to send signals. But when exhaustion is no longer temporary, when it becomes your daily reality, that's not normal anymore. It's a warning. In many cases, basic medical exams, blood work, imaging tests, and pancreatic function tests can start revealing what's really going on. The danger lies in waiting too long. Pancreatic cancer doesn't move slowly. Spreads quickly. Every month counts. If this part of the video resonates with your own experience, don't delay. Our culture often teaches us to push through, to stay strong, to keep going. But listening to your body isn't a sign of weakness. It's a survival skill. And if you've found value in this information, leave a comment saying, "I'm paying attention to the signs." That one message might be the push someone else needs to finally see a doctor. And finally, we come to the seventh, and possibly most underestimated symptom of all: sudden changes in blood sugar levels. Many people are suddenly diagnosed with type 2 diabetes out of nowhere. No family history, no obesity, no clear cause. And in some cases, behind this new diagnosis lies something much more serious. A tumor in the pancreas that is already disrupting insulin production. The pancreas is the organ responsible for producing insulin, the hormone that regulates glucose in the blood. If a tumor grows near the cells that make insulin, the body can no longer regulate blood sugar properly. This can lead to persistent high blood sugar, sudden glycemic instability, or the development of full-blown diabetes, seemingly out of the blue. The most dangerous part: the diagnosis often stops there. You're prescribed medication for diabetes, and no further investigation is done. But when diabetes appears suddenly in an older adult, especially someone who is not overweight and has no history of metabolic issues, it's vital to consider that it could be secondary diabetes, meaning it's a result of something deeper. In medical terms, this is known as pancreatogenic diabetes, and it's often associated with serious pancreatic conditions, including cancer. Even in people who haven't been diagnosed, there are clues: fluctuating energy levels, feeling weak or dizzy after eating sweets, unexplained confusion, blurred vision, or tremors. These may seem like minor annoyances, but they can be powerful indicators that something inside your body has changed. If you've recently been diagnosed with diabetes or have noticed signs like these, ask your doctor to evaluate your pancreas. A simple ultrasound, CT scan, or blood work might reveal what's really happening, and the earlier the better. Now that we've reviewed all these warning signs: persistent abdominal pain, appetite loss, nausea, jaundice, abnormal stool, chronic fatigue, and blood sugar changes, the question is, are any of these happening to you or someone you know? Don't dismiss them. Pancreatic cancer is silent, subtle, deceptive, and deadly. The longer you wait, the stronger it becomes. But if you catch it early, you have a fighting chance. So if this video helped you in any way, I ask you to do 3 simple things. Leave a like so this information can reach more people. Write a comment, even if it's just "thank you" or "this helped me." It boosts the message. Share this with at least one person over the age of 50. It might seem small, but it could change someone's future. Your body speaks. And today maybe you've learned how to finally listen.